Awesome. So gratitude, leadership, and transformation. It's such an amazing place to start a journey of evolution. And I let me see what you guys are dropping in the chats. 3 things that you're grateful for: freedom, faith, health, family, recovery, your daughter, your home. That's so beautiful. This community, I agree. This is something that I'm definitely grateful for. And I see that we're all grateful for our community, for our family, from our health. We are so alike, all of us. Even though we are in different bodies, we all share the same desire of joy. And I want to share what I am grateful for when before we get started. And I'm also grateful for my family, just like you guys are. I'm grateful for my partner, Raw, and for my amazing team. I wouldn't be here without all of the leaders that make it happen, including Dave and Amy, Lucy, Michael, Troy, that introduced us to this incredible opportunity. My Red Diamond, Melissa, Alisa, Rob, Alexis, Holly, JP being on this call, my newest brand partner, Andrea, that literally bought a pack last night, and we were crossing our fingers hoping that her credit card wouldn't decline the transaction because she was ready to make this transition. I'm grateful for her, Sam, my newest brand partner as well, and really the rest of my team. And I am deeply grateful to Purium, because Purium transformed my life. And I know that it has transformed many of your lives as well. And I'm grateful for all of you guys here. Okay. I am grateful for each single one of you on the Zoom. There's 146 of you that are making the time to receive my voice and to receive the wisdom that I'm going to share with you guys. And I am grateful for this Purium team. We're all in this Purium team. This is what makes us so special, because we're all here for the evolution of our planet, ourselves and our planet and our bank accounts, right? We see evolution in so many different ways. And before I get back into my experience with gratitude, leadership, and transformation, I chose to start this Zoom today with forgiveness. Okay, I want to start this presentation centered around forgiveness, because forgiveness is such a wonderful place to start. And a lot of us see that. Actually, a lot of us don't see that. Okay, when was the last time that we forgive ourselves and we forgive others? And let me tell you, in my experience, forgiveness allowed for my transformation to happen. And I know that it might allow you transformation as well. So I want to hear from you guys. What does forgiveness means to you? If you can share some words in the chat, what does forgiveness means to you? New beginnings, yes, definitely. Letting go, absolutely. Letting go. Peace, it definitely brings tons of peace. Love, freedom, acceptance, letting go of the hurt, love, letting myself fail, new reset. I love all those answers. Frees up stagnant energy, compassion, put in my past where it belongs. Forgiveness means freedom. I love that. Not looking back. And I want to share with you guys that forgiveness to me means to give forward. And this means giving forward from the moments in our past, the moments that are dead, the moments that no longer exist today. And I want to give you guys a minute to think about one thing that you want to forgive yourself for. Maybe you want to forgive yourself for judging yourself. Maybe you want to forgive yourself for letting your dog for 8 hours at home without you. If you're a doggy mom, you know that hurts a lot, and I feel guilty. What is one thing that you want to forgive yourself for? And I want you to think of one person that you want to forgive. Maybe it's a brand partner that told you that they wanted to be invested in this business and then they disappeared, right? Maybe it's people that said that when it wanted to join your event and they didn't show up, and you created this little resentment of someone that made you hurt. Think of those two things. One thing that you want to forgive yourself for, and one person that you want to forgive, and hold that in your thoughts. Okay? Because when we start this journey of leadership in transformation, what I was taught and what I believe is that we must be energetically fully present, 100% present. And this is why forgiveness is so important to grow in life and in this business. Because some of us, for instance, might be 40% energetically invested in the past, okay? Those fears, the rejections, all those people that say no to us, the shame. A big part of us is always invested in the past, and the dwelling on the holding on to the resentment of past experiences, fears. And maybe 30% of us might be energetically invested in the worry of what if tomorrow, right? What if I prospect someone and they say no? What if they think that I'm a fool? What if they think that I am in a pyramid scheme, right? What if? So we're so worried about the tomorrow, and we're so afraid to get rejected again, that leads us to be, let's say in this case, 30% energetically present in the now. Because a big part of us is in the past, a big part is in the worry of the future, and a little part of us is energetically invested in the now. And what leader do you know that has gotten successful working at 30% capacity? What pilot has been able to take off an airplane pressing the gas 30%? That airplane will never fly, and their leader will never grow. The leader will never flourish being invested at 30% frequency. So this is why forgiving ourselves to be 100% fully present now is so important to become a big leader in this company and in the world. You know, guys, when I started this business at Purium, I was a full-time architect. I was working in an office. I would work from 8 a.m. to midnight, maybe even later. I actually felt guilty if I would leave my office before anyone else. I was holding on to the fear of not being able to take care of myself because I had no one to pay for my bills. My family doesn't even live here, and I was in LA completely by myself, and I was afraid. So I was invested in Purium only a couple hours because I needed to make my money. Deep inside, I knew that there was a lot more potential for me in this business. And deep inside of yourself, you know, ask yourself, is there more potential? Is there more of me to be invested in this business? Because I knew that there was more of me, and that there was more people out there that I could help with their health, with their finances. But I had put a shell on myself, right, to stay safe. I was strapped in the safety of my paycheck. I was hiding behind this shell that was holding me back. And the other shell that I was actually wearing and I was under, it was holding on to the idea that I was an architect, right? I went to the best schools in the world. I worked so hard to get where I am, and now I'm going to be working for a network marketing company. That at the moment didn't seem that professional to me, right? It was just my limited belief about the industry that network marketing wasn't as professional. And that shell was nasty. And if you are in that shell of judgment, it's a nasty shell because it's keeping us small. And little I knew back then. And I am so deeply grateful for this profession and for this industry, for all the personal development that I have done to myself and all the personal development that I've been able to pass on forward to my team. And this is why forgiveness is so important. I mean, you're trying to activate and create a leader when you're not fully present, right? You have your own limitations. So I actually want to know how many of you guys, drop a one in the chat if you feel trapped in that shell of your current job. If you're in that job because you know, that safety of that paycheck is keeping you there. You know, that shell is actually weighting you down. So many of us, right? So many of us have that shell that's keeping us safe. Actually, drop a 2 in the chat if you're open to forgiving yourself for staying safe. You are in that job because you want to be safe. That was me too. And when I actually had this realization that this shell was keeping me safe, but it wasn't allowing me to grow, this is when I was truly able to see a vision for myself in my future. I saw my growth and I saw the possibility to becoming a leader of this company. And we all know that it starts with that vision. I have to give myself forward and forgive myself for wanting to stay safe. I had to come to that acknowledgement that I was staying safe and there was nobody else to take care of me but me. I had to forgive myself for listening to those people around me to become influenced by those that didn't believe in this profession. Because those chatters, those words did affect me. So I had to forgive myself for not listening to my heart so many times. And I took full responsibility. And I was trapped in this shell most of my life, okay? But I took that courage to be fully invested. And I made it to Crown a few months later after I had this realization. So great courage is required in exercising forgiveness because it feels unsafe. It feels risky. It feels uncertain, right? What if they do that again? What if they let me down? What if I fail? I actually had lots of questions when I decided to be fully invested in Purium, right? What if this doesn't work? What if I waste my time? What if nobody buys from me? What if I can't enroll brand partners into this business? What if people think I'm doing this pyramid scheme? I am not a nutritionist or a health expert. Why would people buy superfoods from an architect, right? Drop a 3 in the chat if you ever had any of these questions run through your mind. Because I definitely did. I still have questions running through my mind all the time. And it's normal. Okay, those questions are our shells. And they're trying to keep us safe. All of those questions are trying to keep us safe. And I learned that when I heard those questions from my brand partners, I knew that they were on a journey of transformation. I knew that they wanted to get out of the shell, but they were trying to stay safe. And we're all trying to survive most of the time, right? Most of our life, we're trying to survive on this shell that just keeps getting bigger and thicker and more ugly, I would say. So forgiveness, it's really necessary for transformation. So I wanted to start with this because I feel that Leslie does such an amazing job teaching us all these skills and these amazing things that she shares with us all the time. But is this forgiveness? Forgiveness is one of those moments in which the sensation of holding a grudge, holding that job, holding to the junk foods, holding to the boyfriend, or whatever you're holding on, emulates security. And I want to tell you guys that that's not security at all. In fact, it's a very dangerous place to live. If you want to transform, if you want to become a leader, you have to let go of all those things that are weighting you down. Your past is weighting you down, and the worry of the future is weighting you down. So if we don't forgive, we don't transform. And in my opinion, this is what holds back many leaders in our company and in the world from achieving their greatness. If we mess up, we have the choice to forgive ourselves for trying, and we can try again something different. And I'll talk about leadership in a few minutes because failing actually allows leaders to be born. And failing and success is one thing, we usually separate it. And I'll talk about that in a minute because let me share a story. When I started doing my happy hours back in Santa Monica, I lived in a very, very tiny apartment, with my roommate. I would sometimes take phone calls from the bathroom if it was too loud. And I wanted to do happy hours, but I didn't have a nice place to invite people to come over. I didn't even have chairs, to be honest. So I called my upline and I say, hey, Lucy, I want to do happy hours. Can I use your apartment? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, great. Well, I have no clue about what to do, what to say, how to keep my guests inspired. Should I play music? Should I play videos? Like, what should I do on these happy hours? And it was very overwhelming. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel overwhelmed, right? Throwing events for the first time, inviting people, and you have it all prepared and it never goes as you planned it. And I developed a lot of grit because many of my events were empty. As a matter of fact, my first events, nobody showed up. And I was a promoting machine. I was inviting people left and right. I was going to grocery store, inviting people to the grocery store. I was going everywhere. And nobody showed up to my events. And that felt discouraging to me at first. And I was an architect. I barely had any human interaction. I actually didn't like people. That's why I was drawing the whole time. And I worked with my headphones and I barely spoke to humans. Barely, I just emailed the land use attorney, right? The city planner, engineers, everything is done through internet and our software. So we communicate on our BIM software. So barely any human interaction. And then I jump into this profession where I didn't know people to sell superfoods. Like that's awkward, right? And a lot of people that I invited, that I had the courage to invite and has said, yes, I'll come to your event, actually didn't show up. And I follow up and they disappeared. Have that happened to you guys? People say, yeah, I'll do it, I'll come, and then they disappeared. They never even respond when you follow up. So instead of blaming myself for not doing a good job inviting, maybe not inviting the right people, comparing myself to other leaders, or even judging, my prospects because they said, yes, I'm coming, and then they didn't show up. What I did is that I opted to forgive myself. See how the forgiving yourself always allows you to reset to a higher vibration. And I accepted that I was doing the best that I could at that moment. You are all doing the best that you can at that moment. And you will improve every time you fail, and you will try again. So when it comes to leadership and transformation, it's important to know that safety and risk are polarities. That safety and the risk exist at the same time, all the time. You have a choice, but they're both there. It's like success and failure are one. You can't be successful without failure. You can't be safe without the risk. So the choice is always ours to take the safety side or to take the risk. I want you guys to think of a few people right now that you have not shared the products or the business because you wanted to stay safe, right? Some people call it the chicken list. We want to stay safe. We're afraid of the rejection. We're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of, not being seen a certain way. So instead, we stick to staying on that shell and not taking the risk. Drop out 4 in the chat if you are one of those that are afraid to reach out to some people because that shell is so powerful, so hard to escape. And in order to transform, we need to let that go. I know it's a lot of us. I still have some people that I haven't reached out. It's still in my list, but I'll get to it. Baby steps. And we all have the capacity to forgive ourselves and others. And let me tell you, the reward is amazing. The reward is remarkable. Forgiveness will give you forward to where you want to be, to what you want to create. Moving forward releases the past and opens real and full access to now. And now is the only moment that's alive. So we are, a lot of us are so invested in the past and the future that we're not here. And this is all we have. So in every experience, in every conversation, we were always going to face a shell for protection. Every conversation that you have, you're going to try to put on a shell. Is this a pyramid scheme? Is this, and you're gonna put that shell on, right? So many of us try to put the shell on. Just know that in every conversation you're gonna have, you're gonna wanna put that shell on. And this is when we have to make that choice and be proud of our company and be proud of our industry. You changed my life. I should not be afraid to share about it to the world. Should not be afraid to share about it on Instagram, right? That I am in a network marketing company. And for the longest time, I wasn't even sharing that because I was afraid to be judged. I was afraid to turn off my prospects, right? Because the moment that they know that this is an MLM, now they're not going to want to buy from me. And getting over that is holding us back, guys, it's like the most liberating thing. As a matter of fact, it took a lot of courage for me to be public around this, like to start sharing it in all my courses. Yeah, I'm part of an MLM, I'm part of this and that. And so many people have actually joined me because they said, you know what, I try network marketing in other companies, it never worked for me, but the way that you talk about it makes me feel hopeful that it might work for me this time. And literally people now actually message me and say, hey, Seema, I know you're part of a network marketing company and I always wanted to be successful in one. Nobody will ever message me like that before because I was putting this shell and this protection and I'm being embarrassed of my business, right? Of my company, of what I do. So every seed that we plant wants to germinate, right? We all want our seeds to become full-grown plants that same day that we plant them. And actually, I want to take a step back and talk about this chestnut. It's a shell that the horses like to eat, and it has a shell. This nut has this shell, and it's very prickly, and it prevents horses from eating them because horses love this seed. But the seed wants to germinate, right? That's what nature wants to do. It wants to evolve. And that seed wants to grow into a huge chestnut tree. It is his destiny, just like our destiny is to be great. Our destiny is to be amazing at things that we're passionate about. And this shell over time, because it's been trying to protect itself from the horses eating it, actually has evolved through the years, and it has grown a very prickly shell. The shell is so bad, the horses don't want to eat it, right? And we grow a shell just like that to stay protected. Every time we feel hurt, every time we feel pain, we keep on making the shell more nasty. I think that that's the best word. So I just want to invite you guys to see your dreams, to see your destiny standing in front of this shell. And the only way to let it go is to forgive yourself so you can have that transformation and be thankful, be grateful, because on that transformation, you're going to become a leader. And some of us are stepping into this business and we're new. We don't have any experience with it. We don't even have experience with network marketing. And it feels completely unfamiliar. It felt to me. And it might feel very overwhelming as well. So no wonder why so many people sign up to this business and quit before starting. Or some of us avoid contacting those people that have the traits that we want in a leader. And we decide to just hide on this shell that is keeping our growth. And I'm spending all of this time talking about the shell because I feel that once we really crack that open, we are going to develop that leadership and that transformation that we're all looking for. And it really comes in doing this work. And this is where we transform. We always say that we are a personal development course with a compensation plan, right? I always say that. And that's true. The more that we develop ourselves in our skills, the more money that we make, right? The faster that you can grow yourself and your skills, the faster you're going to make more money. Because when you develop those skills, you're more valuable. And when we are more valuable, we can help more people. We can be of better service to the planet. People that don't bring any value to the planet don't make much impact and don't make much money, right? So the more impactful, the more valuable you are as a human, the more money that you're going to make. And guess what? This is a win-win for you as a human, and it's a win-win for your income. The faster you take that shell out, the faster you forgive yourself, the faster you can transform and become that leader, the faster you're going to grow, and the more money that you're going to make. Because when you imagine yourself staying safe, you're also imagine yourself never growing. If you want to stay safe, you're never going to grow. So get that clear right now, okay? And there cannot be a new tomorrow if you stay in that place, because safety wants tomorrow to be the same as today, standing in the same place that you are, not getting to the next rank advancement, not signing up your next brand partner. You're going to stay exactly where you are if you don't decide to forgive yourself so you can transform and become the leader that you're meant to be. And this stagnation of staying at the rank that you're staying for a long, long time ultimately becomes dull, right? There's no shine and no future and no crowns, right? So we want to remove this shell. We want to transform. We want to become those leaders so there could be more crowns in this company, so there could be more leaders making and paving the ways. And when it comes to transforming, what I have learned is to look at ourselves as if we were a river. Okay, so pretend that you're a river. A river runs from its source to its destination. That's what rivers do. And rivers never follow a straight line, ever. Okay, I never seen a straight river. As a matter of fact, there are many moments in the river's path and in your life, remember, you're the river, where the river is moving around some object. And sometimes the river starts traveling away from its destination, away from your plans and your goals, because you are the river. And if you're not willing to accept and forgive those moments along the path that changes direction, maybe you wear, let's say, a diamond, and something happened and you went back to executive, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, the river went back. I went backwards instead of going forward. I want you guys to actually accept that change in direction and forgive it. Yes, some people got other priorities. Now they're no longer invested. Some people just wanted to get faster bonus and sayonara, right? And they disappear. And I want you guys to forgive them, let them go, and just know that when things start flowing against the direction that it's supposed to, it's also a positive thing. Because it's that balance in our lives that allows us to recognize change to be positive. And when you're holding on to that moment, you're holding on to the brand partner. Oh my gosh, I was hoping that you will be a green diamond this month and you're still an executive, right? Like, you don't want this as much as I want it for yourself. When you become that resistant and unforgiving, you become stagnant. And all of us get so easily trapped into judging our team, into not forgiving them, into not accepting that other people have other priorities. And obviously this is not one of them, because if he was, there will be here. And sometimes we have to go back to then move forward. And in this time, Thanksgiving, right? Giving thanks to those moments, sending peace and grace to those moments of going back is so important, because sometimes we forgot something that we were supposed to learn. So the universe is taking us back so we can actually learn that lesson. And you guys seen on maps, right? When there's a mountain and the rivers are running through, and the rivers don't go straight down, right? Some of the rivers go up and down, up and down, up and down. And instead of getting upset for not growing in your business, for doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, not growing, right? That river's not flowing in a straight line. I want you guys to forgive yourself, forgive fast, and continue moving forward. Stay in the game, even if you're not winning. Stay in the game, even if you're not winning. Because if you stay in the game, you'll become wise enough to win. A river will eventually circle back towards the ocean of your destiny. I call it the ocean of your goals. It might take you around the whole globe, but eventually is the destiny of a river to end up back at the ocean. It's your destiny to achieve your dreams. If you stay in that river, if you stay on that flow. I made a post on Instagram a while back, and he said, if you knew what's coming, you wouldn't worry about what's happening, right? We get so caught up in what's happening that now we're not even seeing what could be our future, our vision. We forget our vision, because if we knew what was coming, what's happening now wouldn't even mean anything. So how can we start living our life like that? Just know what's coming for you. It's greater. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit when I start talking about leadership, because when I started this business, I was so confused on what to do. I wanted to do everything. I'm like an overachiever. And this is something that women have, right? An ability to multitask, to think about many things at once. I just wanted to do it all. And I had to slow down. I had to listen to my mentor, and I had to do one thing at a time. And I worked on my list, one person at a time. If you're so confused, you don't know what to do, start one person at a time. Once you call that person, call the next. Call everyone. Call your brand partners that are on active and tell them there's great specials coming on. I wanted to update you in case that, things might have shifted a little bit for you. Slow down. I like to use this analogy. I don't know if you guys have ever used a magnifying glass to create fire, maybe in Boy Scouts when you were little. I used to love to light fire with a magnifying glass. And we know that in order to create fire with a magnifying glass, we have to keep it focused in one spot, right? If we're moving the magnifying glass all over the place, are we ever going to create fire? Are we going to create and ignite heat so your business starts growing? So I want to invite you guys to take it one step at a time, because if you do focus in one thing, that thing is going to grow. Once we realize that we are always moving and transforming like a river, that we are always changing directions, we will ultimately reach that ocean of our goals. And there's a Buddhist saying that says, the river's always changing and it's always the same. Have you guys heard that? The river's always changing and it's always the same. In other words, our life is always changing. Our dreams are always changing. In every moment, your why when you started might not be your why right now. Like my why evolved. The leaders that brought me to a rank did not take me to the next one, right? The business is like that river, always evolving. The moments are always new. The experiences are always new. The leaders that are going to take you to the next level haven't even joined your business yet. But know that we are ultimately going towards our vision if we stay in the game. And I learned from one of my mentors that the only time we don't have a choice is when we don't make one. I don't know why that really stayed in my head. The only time we have no choice is when we don't make that. And for that, I'm, deeply grateful, because we all have that capacity to evolve. We all have the capacity to make a choice. And this is an amazing subject. And maybe I asked Leslie to speak on this. Choices and decisions, they're very different. But gratitude and appreciation are two of the most powerful emotions. And if you guys want to evolve your business, you need to start practicing more gratitude and appreciation. And I know it's hard. It's hard for me too at times. We get so distracted. We are so programmed to react. And they also have the highest frequency. Appreciation and gratitude have the highest frequency in the world. And feeling appreciated feels amazing, right? Who doesn't like to feel appreciated? We all want to be appreciated and celebrated. Imagine how that could transform your business if we started to appreciate everything and everyone around us. So many of us take this life for granted, and instead of seeing the gift that there is, we focus on the negative. So I remember, guys, one time, it's so clear because it was so meaningful. I remember saying to myself, I don't have any leaders. Nobody in my team is doing anything. Nobody in my team wants this as bad as I want it for themselves. Have you guys asked yourself those questions? Or have you guys told yourself that? I don't have any leaders. Nobody in my teams is doing nothing. Am I the only one? Well, hopefully I am, right? But I remember myself feeling that, I don't have leaders. I sign up all these people. No one is a leader. 1 in 100. I have to sign up 80 more to find a leader. I had that in my head. 1 over 100 is a leader. And I was casting a spell in my business. And this is when actually Raw called me out. And he said, you're just lowering the vibration of the team. Because when I actually started to tell myself, my leaders are already in my downline. I don't have to find more leaders. I already have them. What I'm looking for, I already have. In that month, guys, I had 12 diamonds. 12 diamonds. I also had a green diamond and a blue diamond. My business exploded just by being appreciative and grateful for what I had. Changing my mindset to a positive one allowed that higher force to reward me. So I hope that this allowed a little shift in your consciousness, because life is so awesome to stay focused on the negative. And the more appreciative and in love that we become with life, the more that life will deliver happiness and blessings to us. And true happiness comes from being grateful in the now. I just love all those comments. I'm getting distracted because I want to read the chat. Just when you think that you have arrived, you have started. I remember when I wanted to become a crown so bad. I was obsessed, obsessed. I just wanted to become a crown. That was just all I wanted to do. And I remember asking, I called Lucy and Michael Maces, and I said, I need those magazines. I need those magazines where that royal crown is, and all these crown pictures are, and I just want to make photocopies. I want to put them in my vision board. I want to become those crowns. I want to dress the way that they dress. I want to mimic those leaders because I want to be just like them. I remember sitting on a bus with Rachel, 2-star crown Rachel, she's here, and asking her all these questions about what do you do? Like, how do you invite people? What are your teams? Can I join one of your happy hours? I remember a late night laying in bed during Diamond Club with Crown Mary Beth and Sarah Rhinelander, and I think there was somebody else, and we were all just laying on that bed thinking how we can get ourselves to the next level. And that was, I know, Rachel, you remember, I asked her so many questions, and I just wanted to vibrate like a crown so I could become one. And those moments were very meaningful because only when we achieve and we match that vibration, we become it. And maybe I'm being a little bit too metaphysical, but I know everyone in Purium is. We all believe in that stuff. So I just want to let you guys know that part of leadership is really understanding that we never really arrive anywhere. We always want to keep on growing and evolving. So make the journey count. It is never ending. When you get to executive, immediately you're going to want to be a diamond. When you're a diamond, you're just obsessing with green. When you're a green, you just want to be a blue, and then a black, and then the crown. And when you're crown, you just obsess and you want to be 2-star crown. And then when you're 2-star crown, you just want to be a 3-star crown. And like, you're just always chasing something. And I promise that is exhausting. And really, it's not a bad thing to obsess about something because it's part of life, but count your blessings every day and just be grateful for where you are. And Lucy Mason will always tell me this. Just enjoy your crown. Because the moment that I hit crown, I was like, I'm going for 2. I'm double ranking, right? I was very close to achieve when I hit crown to start crown. And I just was obsessed with the next rank. I even forgot I hit crown. I just was concerned about what's next. And it's just very draining. And you don't really learn from the experience when you're just always trying to trace the next thing. And bringing it back to, I know I have 15 minutes left and I want to share so many things, but I want to share something that I learned from a mentor that I love very much. And it really comes down to accepting on our role in life. All of us, there's 188 people on the call right now. We have a role that we didn't choose. We are just simply destined to fulfill. And is the role of lifting ourselves and of uplifting others around us, right? It's this role of being a teacher. We're all teachers on this call. We're network marketers, we're leaders, but mainly we're teachers, right? This is a very masterful role. You know, teachers are leaders. We lead the well. And the faster that we learn how to teach, the faster we're going to achieve our success. I've never imagined myself talking in front of people. You know, that's why I became an architect, because I didn't want to talk to anyone. Even during my thesis, I built walls in my studio so nobody would even ask me a single question. And I was very afraid. I didn't want to talk. I was embarrassed. I thought my English wasn't good enough. I thought that I will say wrong things. You know, a lot of things get lost in my translation. You can ask Bra, my partner. It's like, well, you're trying to say this. And that was a fear of mine for speaking in front of all of you guys, because I had that limitation. And I just want to let you guys know that you're all teachers, and that the value that you have is so important. The value, I always say, we all have a special medicine to bring to the planet. And I want to invite you to give yourself the permission and the authority to imagine yourself as a leader. Because a lot of you guys are chasing the next rank, but you're not truly visioning and imagine yourself as that leader that you say that you want to be. Dr. Dispenza talks a lot about this, right? And imagining that we want to create, and not focusing on the how and the when, just focusing on what you want. And it's very important to make your voice be heard. It is an important part of the evolution of our planet. Like, I don't want to get metaphysical, but we all have a vibration that is necessary to the evolution of the planet. It's our vibration that comes through our voice. And we're constantly expanding. We're constantly changing to meet the needs of what's happening in our world. Just like the company Purium just created Thanksgiving specials and, you know, holiday flavors. The company is adapting to what's happening. So do we have to adapt to what's happening? And I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to live today in today's world, with the suffering that's happening, you know, with the judgment that's going on? And use the skills that we learn here at Purium to make a world better. Because what good are you going to bring to the world if you just keep it all to yourself? So as teachers, as leaders, we must learn to use our emotions as a tool for empathy. And this was very important to me because I'm a Pisces, sun in Pisces, moon in Pisces. My whole chart is on water. So I'm like, I cry for everything. And I literally had to learn how to use my emotions, you know, use the grief, the struggle, the suffering, the disharmony, and not see the situations as negative, but as a moment for deep reflection. So if you are struggling to get to the next level, if you are suffering in your life, use that space, use that suffering to create new introspection, to create a reflection, because in that space of reflecting, you will find those solutions that you want. I love that, Catherine. Yes, solutions, right? We find those solutions. When I decided to go full-time in Purium, I was a diamond, okay? I had a full-time practice as an architect. We all know the diamond income, right? That wasn't enough for me. It was pennies compared to the income that I was making. But I knew that I had to put myself onto a lot of stress in order to make it big in Purium, in order to become a crown. So I decided to commit full-time to Purium and stopped my architectural practice and give myself a couple months to survive. And I told myself the mantra, money comes to me in seen and unseen ways in abundance, and I will be taken care of. And in 128 days later, I made it to Crown because I put myself into stress and I give myself that gift of desperation. And that gift of desperation is amazing. It makes you create things because we all heard the phrase pressure makes the diamonds. And I use that desperation. And if you are in that place like I was, where I had to pay my bills, and if I didn't pay my bills, I was going to get kicked out of my apartment. I use that gift of desperation as a fuel to rise into the awareness of solutions, if that makes sense. And I want you guys to know that leadership to me, and I learned this from John Maxwell as well, one of my mentors, is that leadership is a compounding effect. You can't just read a book and say, now I am a leader, or read many books and you are a leader. You will become a leader with practice. Okay, is that repetition? Repetition is the father of learning. Repetition is what allows us to become experts. It allows us to transform. You know, how we lead determines how successful we get, really. So being grateful for every failure, it's necessary, because without those failures, we can't learn. And if we're not learning, we're not moving forward. So I want my failures. I want to make a call every day to know no one's showing up and that I'm doing something wrong so I can fix it, right? I want to use that script or say that thing that my upline told me to say to figure out that maybe works, maybe doesn't work. But if you want to be successful, you need to be willing to fail every day. You know, I was trying to prospect this influencer and I did it the wrong way when I started, and this guy wasn't very nice. And I think he even blocked me, and I felt so hurt. And that was so necessary for me to learn that I need to talk to them differently. So what do leaders have in common? And if you consider your leader, you'll know what I'm saying. The first thing is that leaders see more than others. Okay, so that is one of the key traits, I will say, of leaders. Leaders see more than others. Okay, and second, leaders see before others see. I learned this from John Maxwell, and I was mind blown. I was like, leaders see more than others, and leaders see before others see. It is the more and the before that as leaders we have to focus on, right? We start with that vision, we start with the why. And that was really important to me because I knew that I could see more for others. I could see more for myself, and I could see their success before they saw it for themselves. But how now I make them see more and see before. And the faster that we can train ourselves to see more and before for other people without judgment, we create an advantage in this business. It's like that vision casting. You know, how can we see the bigger picture and quicker as a leader? And that was something that allowed me to step into my leader and be grateful for that. I remember buying a whiteboard. I still have the whiteboard, and I bought all colors. You know, I have all colors of markers, and I would draw the diamond. If that month I was going for red diamond, I will literally spend an hour sketching this diamond, putting the bling blings, the shines. I would sleep. I put the whiteboard in front of my bed. So I would go to sleep looking at the red diamond, wake up with the red diamond. And all I wanted was that diamond. And I did it with every single color diamond, every single one of them. And I embraced that vibration. So guys, get yourself a whiteboard or a sticky note and start drawing what you want to create. Start writing it down and be able to put it in a place where you can see it. And just know that there's always going to be more and more. You know, you're always going to be more. And as a leader, you can always see more. Like, oh, I just made it to diamond. Oh, now I can see myself getting to diamond. So how can you get your brand partners to hit consult and now be able to see that they can do director? Because when they see that they can hit director, they see that they can hit executive. And when they see they can hit executive, they can see that they can hit diamond. So allowing your leaders to be able to see more and more and then see before is something that it was really important to me, because we can either have an abundance mindset or a scarcity mindset. And in scarcity mindset, we won't be seeing much. We won't see much opportunity, right? What we see is what we get. So if you see a scarcity, you're going to get scarcity. If you think that you don't know anyone to talk to, you're not going to have anyone to talk to. If you think that you're not a good salesperson, you're not going to be a good salesperson, right? What you see is what you get. So how we do things is how we do things. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. It's more, I just want to let you guys that there's way more for you out there. And I know I'm running out of time, but what we focus on expands. We heard these so many times. And if we begin to focus on a word, if you begin to focus on that diamond that you're sketching on your board, that word is going to expand to become a world, like it did to me, like it did to my team. And as a leader, just know that there will always be more answers. You know, leaders are creative. They find a way. We always find a way. So work in your creativity. Just know that leaders will always find a way. And leaders are also flexible. Don't get so attached to one thing. There will always be more than one answer. Like I know that what I'm doing, I could be doing better. I know that what I'm doing, it could be absolutely better. What I'm doing most likely is not even the best thing to do. And when you think with that huge abundance mindset, that there are many answers out there, that there's always going to be a better one, you're going to know that tomorrow is always going to be better than today. And when you step into that place, that the best is only for the moment, the better is always for tomorrow, because every day you're going to become better. The more thing and the more success is going to come into your life. And I want to wrap it up really quick because I have a lot to say. But when gratitude is really in front of you guys, when gratitude is in front of your mind, when you make it a habit every day to think of something that you are grateful for in your heart at all times, it will change your life, because gratitude is happiness. And when you think about being grateful for something, you will shift your vibration and people are going to be able to feel that. And it doesn't mean that you don't want more from life than what you're currently getting if you're not grateful. But if you're focused in your blessings in life, you will be aligning yourself with an energy of abundance. And if that's what you want to create, that's what I want you guys to invite you to do. Gratitude would always align you with the right energy. And every time you feel confused, frustrated, just know that you have to think about being grateful for something, and that will change your energy. But I love you guys. I want to cut it at 6:55. I know there's so much more to say. I wanted to talk about the cycle and like many more things, but thank you for giving me the space to talk to you, to share with you a little bit of my wisdom. I hope that this was worth your time. I hope you took some notes. I hope that at least you got one takeaway. Actually, I'm going to pull a Leslie. What's a takeaway in the chat? One takeaway in the chat. It was a little shift, right? It was a little different than Leslie. Never give up. I love that. Be grateful. Cracking that shell. Yes, crack that shell. If we stay in the game, we're always going towards our vision. Yes. So we focus on expands, get out of your own way, be in gratitude, be grateful, stay focused, forgive fast. I like that one. It comes down to forgiving. Forgive yourself every moment. That was the first chapter of my Kundalini Yoga teacher training, forgiveness. My master would not let us start the course if we didn't really forgive our future or past or present. We had to be fully present in order to vibrate and be able to retain the information that he was teaching us, you know, all the centuries and of wisdom passed on from masters to masters. And I wanted to bring that to you guys because it was very meaningful. I was able to really create all of my dreams in my life and everything that I ever wanted when I decided to forgive. My life changed, and I want your life to change as mine did. And it starts with that little exercise. All right, guys, well, have an amazing Thanksgiving. Thank you. I love you. Let's share Purium with everyone. Everyone should know about Purium and what we do. Thank you very much. I'll unmute everyone. I like to unmute everyone. Here we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seema, you did it. Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So grateful.
Thank you so much. Love life.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you so
job.
much, Seema.
Great call, Seema. What I
Good job,
needed.
Seema.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the holiday. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.